Are we in focus? Hold on. Hold on. Sorry in advance if you see me like touching my upper lip. Look, the other day I filmed a video. It looked real good. It felt real good while I was filming it. And then when I went to edit the video, halfway through, I was like, why the fuck is there water on your face? And I was just like, okay. So I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen. I would rather be caught touching my face than have water on the face, you know, sweat on the upper lip. Screw that. Hell no. Not today, because today's video is special. Because today is the first day of June, and June is month 6. And in the year we have 12 months. What does that mean? It means we're halfway through the year for y'all who can do the math, which is something that I can do sometimes, even though I'm horrible at it in school. Sometimes I can do it. And I know for a fact that half of 12 is 6. So today we're going to be talking about the best books I have read in the year so far. The books I've given 5-star / 4.5 star ratings to. Okay, are you paying attention? Because you should be. Because these books are ones that y'all need to read with a quickness, if you know what's good for you, okay? But first I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is I'm going to be telling you about what the best books I've read so far are right now. Okay, but the bad news is that in order for me to have fun filming this video and not have it feel like I'm fucking getting teeth pulled out. Okay, look, I mean, every single video I make for y'all is a labor of love, but I would like to feel more love, less labor, and it truly feels like work when I have to give a synopsis of a book. I hate doing that. It drains my soul. It drains my being. It drains all morale in the world, my world. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you the name of the book. I'm gonna put a picture on the screen for you too. And then I'm gonna tell you the vibes, why I love it so much. And if the vibes sound like they are good vibes, perhaps you can take a minute or two to look up the Goodreads summary synopsis for yourself, okay? Also, I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody who has subscribed to me recently, because I recently reached 4,000 subscribers. What the fuck? Like, what the hell? I mean, I made this channel like, oh my gosh, hopefully I reach 100 subscribers one day. That would be so fun. So the fact that 4,000 of you are willingly watching my dumbass talk to the most affordable camera on the market about books that I happen to like, that a lot of people, most people don't even read because they're, you know, pretty extreme, pretty on the wild side, is crazy to me. I love every single one of you so fucking much, it's not even funny. So yeah, just know that. Understand that. This list is in no particular order. Well, most of this list is in no particular order, and then at the very end, I'm gonna tell you what my favorite book of the year so far is, hands down. But before we do that, let's play a little game. Comment the book emoji and guess what my favorite book of the year so far is, okay? I haven't talked about it on this channel yet. However, I have reviewed it on Goodreads, so if you're not following me on Goodreads, link down below. Alright, let's get started. First book I want to talk about, Dark Water by Koji Suzuki. This is the first book I read this year that I gave 5 stars to, and for good reason. This is a Japanese horror story collection. It is so good. It features so many different types of horror. A couple of these stories freaked me the f out, and it was epic. Even if extreme horror scares you, this is not that. Like, you can totally read this. It's very approachable, and it was just so interesting. Every single short story had something that I liked, and overall, this was just very strong, and I definitely want to check out what else this author has in store for me. I think this guy also wrote the book Ring, which turned into that film with the girl crawling out of the TV from the well, you know. So we'll see what that's like. So the second book I want to talk about is Perfume, The Story of a Murderer by Patrick Suskind. I normally don't do dedicated reviews to specific books because those types of videos just don't do well, and I was so compelled to do a video on this book that I did a full video on this book. And okay, yeah, it didn't do so well in terms of the views, but I personally felt really good after having filmed it, so that's what matters. Yeah, this is the video, and I will likely link it down below in the lower area. We love lower areas over here. So the next book I absolutely loved was one that I didn't think I would ever read. This book got popular on TikTok, and normally I don't like what is recommended on that app, mostly. They did come through with Evelyn Hugo though, so I mean, I was like, maybe this could be a good one. Yo, yo! With the covers of these books, with the reputation of these books, I should have given every single one of these books 1 star and shat on them on this channel. But no, this series blew me away. I loved it. The Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. I loved this series so much. I did a full vlog documenting my entire journey reading them. This is the vlog, and you will also find the link down below, okay? Should you choose to. It's about a female serial killer. It's got lady rage. It's got revenge. It is cathartic. It is satisfying. I was under the impression, based on these covers, that they were gonna be trashy, stupid smut. And no, yes, it does read like a romance at times, but there's so much more thrilling stuff and gore and whatever to compensate for what are things that I wouldn't like. The side characters are amazing. The protagonist is so cool. The love interest is pretty boring, but that didn't, you know, take away from anything to me. And I was just consistently entertained all throughout. Warning though, this does read like, you know, very Wattpad fanfic-y. The writing isn't the best, okay? But this book has something that beautifully written classics don't have, and that's flavor. Alright, you know what's up? This book's got personality, okay? And would you rather read a book that was like that, or would you rather read a book for school? So, okay, the writing isn't the best, but the time you will have is a ride, a blast, a magnificent journey into the center of the earth of awesomeness, okay? Badam. Anyway, next. So now I want to talk about a couple indie horror books that I absolutely loved, and this is For the Sake of and For the Sake of Two by Judith Sonnet. She is an author that I discovered this year through Instagram, and she writes faster than I can read at this point. I think she's put out 6 books this year. This year alone. I'm like, girl, what? It's like 5 extreme horrors and 1 smut. What I have read, I can confirm, is amazing, and I think I have vlogged all of them. Yeah. But these 2 are hands down my favorite books that she has put out, even though I have loved everything she's given me so far. And they are some of the goriest, gnarliest things I have ever read. I honestly hope that more people read these books because she is so incredibly talented as a writer, as a storyteller. Like, these books rank up there to me, in my view, with super famous extreme horror books like The Summer I Died. They can go toe-to-toe with the most talked about books in the genre, in my opinion. And if you don't believe me, read these books yourself, okay? They're pretty short, but they pack a punch to the gut. This is not the gut. They will punch you and you will like it, okay? Next. Another indie horror book that I absolutely loved and vlogged about and completely gushed about is True Crime by Samantha Kolesnik. Not gonna lie, this book deals with some pretty heavy topics, namely animal abuse, child abuse. Like, there is so much abuse of many sorts in this book, and it's pretty hard to read at times. However, it's fantastic. It is one of the best books I have read all year so far. I did a full vlog on this, reacting to it, and the whole time I was praising it, and it reminded me so much of the film Badlands by Terrence Malick. I can't praise it enough, alright? Check it out. Another indie horror book that I read recently, and by recently I mean a couple days ago, is The Groomer by John Athan. This was so fucked up. Like, this was so scary. This book freaked me out so much. This book reminded me so much of the film Prisoners by Denis Villeneuve. It's about kids that get kidnapped, and the people that do the kidnapping are, you know, horrible, disgusting snuff film makers. It's a very, very scary book. Like, there is a lot of on-screen gore, but there are some acts of violence that are happening off-screen, and you spend so much time in the book not knowing what's happening, and that is so fucking terrifying. This book was scary to me. Like, this book freaked me out, and I normally don't get freaked out, and this book did it, okay? Also, check out Lovesick by the same author. Good stuff. Alright, the next book I want to talk about is Their Boy by Cara D. And I'm not a huge smut reader. Normally when I do read books in the genre, I'm like, okay, I read it for, well, we all know what we read these books for, okay? Like, okay, I totally read this book for the plot, you know? And I'm like, okay, this was fun, the rest of it was okay, 3 stars. Yo, I gave this book 5 stars because this book was a work of fucking art. This is what's up. This book features a cast of consenting adults, okay? Like, everything in here is legal, it's fine, and yet the author made it seem so filthy and so taboo to the point that I felt like I would rather be caught doing porn than be known as the person who wrote this book. Like, that is how scandalous it felt. I'm gonna give y'all just like a little taste about what happens in this book. So we follow these two guys, they're boyfriends, and they're into kink, they're into BDSM, yada yada yada, and they decide that their relationship is pretty boring. They find this other guy, a much younger guy, huge age gap, adult though, and they engage in a polyamorous BDSM relation. I'm keeping my voice down because there's people in this house, but they engage in like a polyamorous BDSM relationship. The whole time I was just like, whoo, oh my gosh, okay, hello, oh my gosh. This comes with like a funny-ish story. I was reading this book on a reading sprint with my friends Jan and Sarah. During the reading sprint, I literally kept unmuting myself to scream at them. So fair warning, okay, if any of my booktube friends up in here invite me on a reading sprint and I'm reading The Smut and it hits, I will be so fucking annoying, okay? I'm gonna annoy the shit out of you. I'm gonna be unmuting myself just to scream at your face. From my face, okay? That is a warning to you all, my friends. Hello. Moving on. So the next book I loved this year is one that I thought that I was gonna full on give 1 star, give a drunk review to, completely trash, lambast on my channel, and I ended up giving it 5 stars, and my review on Goodreads was just me going, what the fuck happened? Why do I like this shit? What the hell? From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I read this book because the 4th book in this series, called The War of Two Queens, came out this year, and it was met with some hefty controversy, okay? So I did a full video on the reviews, which were a lot, which were pretty aggressive. And people were commenting like, why don't you give this book a shot? I was like, you know what? I'll just like get the audiobook, I'll see what's up, bitch. By the end of that audiobook, I was begging for more. I haven't read the sequel yet, but I don't know, I am gonna get to at some point, I hope. We shall see. Hold me accountable, okay? From Blood and Ash fans, if you're out there, force me to do the thing, okay? Keep doing it. It worked the first time, so second time the charm, third time the charm, we'll see what happens, all right? So another book I really love this year is The Sluts by Dennis Cooper. This is a book that I read because I was going through a smut phase yet again, and the cover looked very sexual. It's like a nudist man over here, and I was like, ooh, and yo, this is one of the most extreme horror books I have ever read in my life. I wasn't scared per se. Actually, yeah, I kind of was at points, because if you think this book is smut, it's not. It is one of the most gory, violent, graphically violent books I have ever read. This book inspired me so much. The very next day, after finishing the book, I did a full video just saying why the book was so amazing. Link down below, full video just being like, this book is the beautiful, most beautiful thing, and it fucked me up in a good way. And yeah, Dennis Cooper, if you're watching me for some reason, hi. Get me while I'm single, which will probably be a long time, so do you have a long time to make a move, dude? Do it, please. I'm very well behaved. Another book I really loved is Better the Devil You Know by Bae Deckard, and normally when subscribers recommend me books, I would love to read everything you recommend, but I can't realistically do that, you know, all the time, okay? So if I don't read what you recommend, I am sorry, but reading takes a lot of time, and at the end of the day, this is a hobby, this is my hobby, this is meant to be for fun, and I will only choose what I am interested in, okay? With that being said, one of my friends on Goodreads sent me a DM, and they worded the DM in such a way where it was like, okay, this person really knows me, like knows me, has gone through my entire list of books and knows me to the point that they can definitely be confident in giving me this recommendation. I read the book they recommended, Better the Devil You Know by Bae Deckard, and it was fucking phenomenal. 5 stars. Extreme horror. One of the most gory books I have ever read. Gay serial killer. Sex and violence intermingled. Phenomenal. Amazing. Masterpiece. I vlogged the whole thing. If y'all like the books that I read, you're not gonna want to miss this one out, okay? You're gonna want to go into this one ASAP. With a quickness. With passion. With all that good stuff, okay? The audiobook is also very good. Very, very good. And it's not gonna be what you expect. It plays with the genres, okay? In a way that I found Very effective. There you go. Another book I really loved this year is Battle Royale by Koshin Takami. For those of you who don't know, Battle Royale, the movie, is one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my all-time favorite films, hands down. Loved it, love it, preach. It's amazing. So I buddy read this book with my good friends Gabby and Marcy, and I gave this book 5 stars. It was amazing. It was phenomenal. Even though I love the movie so much, this book elevated my appreciation of the movie because I saw just how accurate that film was. Watching that movie as a kid was entertaining, but experiencing it again as an adult and seeing the sharp satire that is embedded in every single sentence in this story is phenomenal. Gave me the goosebumps for days, and we love that. We stand Battle Royale on this channel, okay? Okay, now it is time, drumroll. The best book I have read in 2022 so far is... I should preface this by saying that I have tried reading from this author before, and I DNF'd both attempts at liking this person's work. Okay, this guy had everything going against him. He had a DNF, he had a rage quit. This book is like 850 pages, a fantasy book, not my genre, and I loved it with my entire being. And that book is Empire the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. I buddy read this book with Marcy, and it was just such a fantastic experience. Reading this book with a good friend of mine, texting back and forth whenever things were happening. I'm honestly pretty desperate to do a full video on this book. I know, and it hurts me that dedicated book reviews don't do well on BookTube anymore, because gosh, I just want to do a full video just pouring my entire heart into saying why I love this book so much. Where do I begin? The characters, oh my goodness. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but like a lot of the main cast is gay. A lot of the main characters are LGBT, which is phenomenal. And they're not just, you know, surprise gays, this person was a gay, the lesbian the whole time. It's like, no, they are full-blooded characters in the story that express opinions on the world. The world building is so amazing. The place itself, the atmosphere, the religion that people, you know, use to impose on one another mirrors a lot of the debates you see in politics, culture, and religion today. And it doesn't feel like plagiarized. It feels like its own thing. And the characters in these books have opinions, and they have entire worlds inside them, and backstories, and reasons for believing things that they do. This goes for every single character I'm talking about over here. Jay Kristoff does not waste a single page in this epic, and it feels like a fucking epic. The action is fantastic. The writing is beautiful. The setting, the monastery and the sky where they train, Day's Death, all these concepts, phenomenal. Just, this book, you guys, when I finished this book, I did not know what to do with my life. I was just like, fuck, now what? Like, now what do I do? Learning that this book is part of a series gives me like actual motivation to keep living, because I want to be in this world again, trust me. When I finished this book, I got that feeling of my chest expanding, and I was just so happy, and I just felt so hopeful in the world. I just felt like I had read something truly special, truly phenomenal. I will honestly be very shocked if another book that comes out this year is one that I like more than this, because so far this is it. Like, this is like the best book I have read this year so far, okay? But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. That's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite book of the year is. I'm curious to know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for 4,000 subscribers. I hope to see you in future videos, and as always, take care. I lose myself in